Hello everyone, welcome to Automation E2E. In this tutorial, we'll walk you through setting up your Selenium Java project and run a basic Selenium script together. I want you to set up your project alongside me so you get hands-on experience with how we write Selenium code. This way you'll be familiar with the basic terms before we dive deeper into WebDriver and the concept behind it in the next tutorial. By the end of this video, you'll have a good understanding of key terms that will make learning WebDriver much easier. Also, in the comparison and advantages of using Maven, we'll focus on one important aspect, that is understanding how a build tool can simplify our workflow and make our lives easier. This video is not just to listen but to follow along. Watch till the end. So, let's get started. We'll explore two ways to set up your Selenium project. First is as a plain Java project, then using Maven, which is a recommended approach. By the end of this exercise, you will understand how Maven automates several manual tasks, making project setup much smoother. Also, you will see why a build tool is essential for every modern framework. Let's start with setting up Selenium project as a plain Java project. Go to the browser, type in Selenium, click on the downloads link here, scroll down to the Java section. Herein you can see the stable version, it's the latest one, and we'll download this one. So let the download complete. Let me open the download section. So here you can see it's downloaded. Extract this file. Click extract all. So the extraction has begun. So once you extract the project, you can see there are n numbers of jars present here. All these jars are required to run our automation with Selenium. If you can see, it has all the drivers, the Selenium manager, Selenium support libraries, dev tools, as well as Selenium Java dependency. So all these jars are very important for executing our Java project with Selenium. So let's go to IntelliJ and create our Java project. So here you have to click on new. You'll get this UI. Let's name it Selenium-Java. Select IntelliJ here, and no need to make any other change. You can simply click on create. Our project is created now, and it has given us a sample program here. Let me quickly remove this program from here. Now, once we have downloaded all the dependencies and we have created a Java project, now we have to link those dependencies to our Java project. And this is very important to link those dependencies and add them to the class path. Let me quickly show you what will happen if we don't do that. So for that, I'll write a basic Selenium program. No need to worry about the program that I'm writing. I'll explain this in deep in next lecture. So here I'll just launch a browser. For that, we have to create a WebDriver instance first. We do that by writing WebDriver is equal to new. Let's start with Chrome driver. So as you can see, this is not a recognized command here. The IntelliJ is not able to recognize what this is. Also, if I perform any action with driver, get is a method to open any URL. Let's open https://google.com. So let's run this program and see what compilation error we'll get because of not adding the Selenium dependencies to the class path. So I'm going here and I'm clicking on run. Now compiler is going to get super mad at us for doing this. As you can see, it's mad. It's giving you an error that Java cannot find symbol, that is WebDriver. This is because Java doesn't know where to find this WebDriver and how to execute the WebDriver code. So for this, we have to add the Selenium dependencies that we just added to the class path. So before we do that, let me brief you real quick about class path in Java. So in simple terms, the class path in Java is like a list that tells the Java program where to find all the different pieces it needs to execute properly. For example, in our case, we are using Selenium to automate web browser. Selenium is a dependency. So we have to tell Java where it can find the Selenium tools when it needs them. Not adding dependency to a class path is like trying to cook without a stove. You have got everything you need, but without access to the right tools, it's just not going to work. Another analogy is like you viewing the video without subscribing. It's not going to work, guys, so please subscribe to the channel. So basically when you won't add it, you'll see a lot of compilation errors. One you saw already, then there are other runtime errors, that is class not found exception. So all these, you'll run into all these multiple exceptions while compiling your program or running your program. So let's get back to the IDE. So we are back to our project. Let's add the dependency. So for doing that, in IntelliJ, you have to go to project structure. Here you have libraries, click on plus symbol, click on Java. Here you have to give the path where your dependencies lies. So in my case, it's in downloads folder. So I'm here at the downloads folder. I'll select all these dependencies. You have to add all of them to ensure you don't get any other errors. So I've selected all of it. Click on OK, click on OK, and these are added. Click on apply, click on OK. Now let's see, is there any suggestion that IDE is giving us? Yes, it has found the Chrome driver class and it's asking me to import it. I've imported it. So as you can see, we have imported the Chrome driver class. So now Java knows where to find this. Also, we'll need to import WebDriver. There you go. So let's execute this code again. Let me add a driver.quit as well here, so that we exit the browser once we complete our program execution. I'll click on the run button here. So the program has been executed. We have opened Chrome. So these are all the steps that you need to follow to create a Selenium Java program using a plain Java project. Now let's set up Selenium project with Maven. For that, go to the three buttons here, click on new project, and you will see the new project window opened. Now here, let's give a name, Selenium-Maven. We have to select Maven here. IntelliJ will pick the JDK from your system. In our case, the one that we installed earlier is present already here. Let's click on create. I'll choose new window here. Now, as you can see, a new Selenium Maven project has been created. Now we have this pom.xml here. Think of pom.xml in Maven as a shopping list for your Java project. It tells Maven what tools and libraries your project needs, like a list of ingredients you need to buy to make a dish. For example, like in our case, we need Selenium to work with. So we have to add a dependency here for Selenium. For that, we have to add a tag, that is dependencies. And here we have to mention the Selenium dependency. For that, let's go to the web browser. We'll download Selenium Maven dependency. Go to the first link. You can see the version that we downloaded earlier in this tutorial for creating a plain Java project. Same version is here, which is the latest one, and we'll take that version. We click it, we copy it, and we paste it in the dependencies tag that is present here. Once you do that, you have to just rebuild the project. For that, you can do it from here, or you can simply build your project from here. Let the build process complete and just reload it. So once you click on reload, you can see that Maven has downloaded all the Selenium dependencies that we earlier did manually. So you can see how Maven has eased out the entire process. So let's quickly write the program that we did earlier to open up a browser. So we'll write the similar program, that is webDriver is equal to new Chrome driver. We have to import this. Then driver.get. So I've written the WebDriver URL. Let me add a thread dot sleep here so that you guys see the execution happening. And then finally, I'll quit the driver.quit. Let me add this exception. Now let's run the program. As you can see, it has opened the Google and it's closed. So the program got executed. Let us now compare both the approaches and understand the advantages of using a build tool. The first advantage of using Maven, as you saw, was dependency management. Without Maven, dependencies like Selenium, we had to manually download them and add it to our class path. This process is error prone and cumbersome, especially while managing multiple libraries and their transitive dependencies. In a real-time project, there will be hundreds of dependencies that will need to take care of. So instead of having to remember everything your project needs and how to set it up, you just have to mention them in your pom.xml. Pom.xml handles it for you. Just list what you need and Maven does the rest. Then comes project structure and standardization. Without Maven, the project structure may vary between different projects. As you can see, when we create a plain Java project, we have a very minimal project structure present here. This is not at all feasible for big projects. Thus, people may create their own project structure. This creates inconsistency and can lead to confusion and difficulties in maintaining or sharing the project with others. On the other hand, if you see Maven, it has a standardized project structure. Example, it has main and test folders already created here inside the source folder. In the main, we can write all our Java code. Also, the resources that are needed can be maintained in this resources folder. And similarly, for test, we can write all the unit tests or any integration tests in the test folder and maintain them here. In the target, basically it has all the compiled classes or any report if you create any. So all this jot downs to a good project structure which is standardized. This makes it easier for developers to understand and navigate project, improving collaboration and maintainability. In case of projects which don't use build tools, building, testing, and packaging the project may require manual setup of building scripts or using the IDE's built-in tools, which may not be consistent across different environments. Also, integration with CI/CD pipelines can be more challenging in case of projects which don't use build tool. On the other hand, Maven provides built-in goals for compiling, testing, packaging, and deploying the project. As you can see, Maven has provided built-in lifecycle steps, which makes this task much easier. Also, this makes build process consistent, repeatable, and easy to integrate into CI/CD pipelines. Talking about version control, if you want to upgrade any dependency in case of Java project, you have to go and download it and add it to the class path again. This is not at all feasible. Managing versions of dependencies manually can lead to conflicts and inconsistencies, especially working in a team or across different environments. On the other hand, in case of Maven, we just need to update the dependency version here. Maven ensures that all the dependencies are versioned and can be reproduced consistently across different environments. The pom.xml file acts as a single source of truth for the project's configuration. Maven also supports project versioning and dependency version management, making it easier to maintain different versions of the project. I have listed some advantages of using Maven. So to conclude, using Maven or other build tool like Gradle significantly simplifies the setup and maintenance of Java project for Selenium. These tools automate many tasks that otherwise would have been done manually. They reduce the potential for error and make it easier to manage complex projects. They also enhance collaboration and integration with other tools and systems, making them indispensable in modern software development practices. Let's automate a basic flow on a dummy website to help you become familiar with key terms and gain a high level understanding of how to approach website automation for different scenarios. For this purpose, we are going to use a dummy website by SauceLab. Here, we are going to automate a basic login flow. In the early stages, the way you can approach this is to see what actions you need to do while testing it manually. Let's list them down one by performing those steps manually. Firstly, we'll have to go to the browser and enter the URL and click on enter. Once we reach here, we have to identify what actions we need to take. First is we need to enter the username, then the password, then click on login. In automation, we have to tell our automation where these elements are. Also, we have here, you can see dummy data that SauceLab has already provided. We'll start with standard user. Now, all the elements that are present on the website page, we call them as web element. The username web element, we have to locate it, then enter the data. Similarly, we have to locate password web element and enter the data. Later, we have to locate where login is and click on it. So as you can see, we have landed on the home page and we can see the products here. Just to validate that we are on the right page, we can just validate this particular field here. So I have listed down all the steps that we just performed manually, right from opening the browser, from checking if we are at the home page. So let's begin with the code. For opening the browser, as we saw earlier in this tutorial, we'll be writing WebDriver driver is equal to new. Again, we'll use the same Chrome driver for now, new Chrome driver. Then we have to enter and go to the website. For that, we'll use driver.get and we'll enter the URL of Sauce Labs. After that, we have to find the web element to enter the username. How to do this? Let's go back to the browser. In the browser, you have this field. For inspecting this field, we have to right click and click on inspect. Let me take this down. You can see a arrow at the left. Click on that and bring your pointer towards the web element you want to locate. So this is the web element. It has highlighted it here. Right now we'll take a simple approach and do it with inbuilt functionality that is there, that Chrome has already provided us. That is, right click, copy, and copy XPath. We'll find it using XPath. Now we have to tell our Selenium program that we have a web element named username, and you have to perform an action on that. For that, we have a web elements class in Selenium. Web element username is equal to driver dot find element. So basically, find element function that is provided by WebDriver is a function which basically finds the element. And how are we going to find it? We have to provide it that. So in our case, we are going to use XPath because we just copied the XPath. We'll paste the XPath here. In this way, Selenium will know that there is a web element username which it can interact with. In the second section, we have to enter a value in username. So how to do that? Let's write username and see what function it has. So it has already given us a function that is send keys. So send keys basically can be used to send any character or text to a particular web element. So I'll send the username here. Now similar exercise we have to do it for password as well. We'll take the pointer, we'll locate the password field. It is highlighted. Right click, copy XPath, and the same code will go here. Let's rename it as password, and we'll again send the password to this field. We'll send the keys to this web element. There you go. After this, we have to locate web element, that is login button. Just login button. For that, we'll utilize the same code, that is driver find element by XPath, and we'll enter the XPath here. For that, we have to go back to the page, click on the arrow, click on login. Here's the login button. Right click, copy XPath, paste the XPath here. We have got the login button. Let's click on that dot click. Once we click on it, we'll be redirected to the login page. Let's go to the login page. So we are at the home page here. Here we'll just validate if this products field is visible and get the text. Again, we'll do it, copy XPath. Let's utilize the same method. Let's replace the XPath, and this is products. Now that we have the product, let's validate if it's correct. For now, let's do that using if-else loop. If products dot get text, as the name suggests, get text method will provide you with the text of that particular web element. Dot equals start the text product. Let's add else. We'll for now print the result out in the console. Login was successful. If it doesn't find it, our test will basically fail. Alright, after this, let's add a thread.sleep here for 2 seconds so that the execution is visible for you guys, and then close the driver.quit. Let's add a sleep here as well, in case if it takes a little longer. Adding sleep is not at all recommended, but before we dive into implicit and explicit waits or the waits that are present in Selenium, let's use sleep for now. Let me run this test now. Let's see what happens. It has launched the browser, it has entered the fields, you're on the home page, and our test was successful. As you can see, it has also printed here that login was successful. I hope this first test on automating a login flow made sense to you. Be sure to try it yourself to become more familiar with the terms we have covered. In the next tutorial, we'll dive deeper into WebDriver and the concepts behind it. If you have any question, feel free to ask them in the comment section. I'd be happy to help. If you found this tutorial helpful, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Your support is crucial for channel's growth. Thank you so much for watching.